Okay, folks, good evening. It's my honor to welcome each and every one of you. I wish I can see these smiling faces more often. Would be nice. It gives us nothing but the encouragement to your representative to sit here. I don't know who's right. CEO is telling me it's about his wages increase. Cardinals are telling me something different. But I won't believe both of them. I'll go to the agenda. So anyway, welcome to you all. And it's my honor to welcome each and every one of you. Councillor Flashfuller is away for personal reasons, and Councillor Line is through the Zoom. Welcome, council members, staff, and the media, along with the gallery guest. We are gathered here in the William Lay Swapnik People's unceded territory. I wanted to acknowledge that. I wanted to thank to the chief, the elders, the First Nation council member, allowing us to do the business. Thanks to each and every one of you. Then, a motion to adopt is on the table, along with I got an item to add. I wanted to present you the recognition, the heroes who represented us, not only in Canada or provincial level, but in Canada level, please. Need a move or a seconder?
Second.
Moved and seconded. Councillor Delaney, Councillor Nelson, all in favor. Minute being held of the council November 4th, please. On the table. Moved and I need seconded. Councillor Weem and Councillor Moses. Any addition, deletion? Hearing none, all in favor. I'm going to bring this is the mayor's privilege. We had a two delegation. I've never used my power, but today I'm so excited to present you. I'm so happy to see you so you can witness. There's a young lady from Williams Lake we would never think about. She went to Germany on the world karate and kickboxing. She earned 3 gold medals in different categories.
Wow.
She's sitting in the front row. Please. What a honor. These players from Vancouver, Calgary, Montreal, they go represented him. Who could be better ambassador than her and her other colleagues here? To put our Williams Lake on the world table. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Okay? She migrated like I did decades back from Europe, and look what honor she has given us. Along with her young, I'll call her my fellow, born and raised in Williams Lake, a very proud young boy. He represented us on the same level, on same 3 category. He did not win any medal, but I tell you, he was mentioned by the world judges. Please. He's a grandson of my good friend, both family, maternal and paternal, and son of Stefan and Crystal Hosler. Crystal sits with me. She's my colleague on the credit union. Crystal and Stefan and Eve, congratulations to you, please. His name was mentioned for his aggressiveness, for his techniques. I don't know if some of you people are Facebook friends or not. I did have the honor to welcome them last, I believe it was Friday. And when we had the cake cutting, I saw his picture. Man, his leg was way higher than his height. He almost, I thought he was going to kill his opponent. But anyway, And the judges mentioned his name. This is the rising star to watch for the years to come. Lincoln Hosler is his name. And beside Catherine Cope, who brought us 3 medals, and Lincoln, and there's a fellow. I, in my life, always have a lot of respect for my teachers, for my trainers, for my masters. I have been always taught parents give the birth to the children. We bring the children to the world. But whatever we become, we are shaped, molded, created out of our body by our gurus, our teachers, our trainer. And the trainer here to mention is Sheldon. Sheldon, thank you very much, sir. Training them. Sheldon and his wife, Leanne, they've been looking after training these boys and girls in William Lake to be what they are. They are trying to shape them. Sheldon and his wife, Leanne, they had a whole bunch of other instructors. They run a club here on 2nd Avenue in the Bank of Montreal, the little plaza there. So you might want to join them, and who knows, you could be the next hero one day. It's not a sales pitch, but it's a fact. It's from my heart. And he didn't bribe me to say that. I'm saying it because I believe in him, and he done a good job. So if I may invite them all, 4 of them, I've been told that Leanne is under the weather, she can't be here. So I'll present that certificate on behalf of the council and the community to say them thank you. They represented us, guys. Give them a round of applause. Please come to the forward.
It's like being in the arena.
Very good, man. And this is for Leanne. Please give it to her. Respectfully request that the council member come to line, please. From all of us, yes, please, come to line. There you go. Yeah.
Awesome. Very exciting.
Again, not a sales pitch. Election is quite far away. I really going to look forward to see on this table that Sheldon trained Lincoln, and he bring us a gold medal. So I, along with the council member, have that chance once again next year, year after, whenever. So I would have the opportunity as a mayor to present you the similar certificate, okay? Thank you. I'm going to look forward. You promised that, right? Yes. Excellent. Thank you very much for them. And when I requested Sheldon, because they train every evening, and he was kind of reluctant to come. He's kind of not a photo guy. He's pretty shy. And Sheldon, I don't know. I said, I promise you, I'll let you get going within 5 to 7 minutes. And I kept my promise, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you, folks. Please send them off for their training with a round of applause. Thank you.
Congratulations. Thanks, all.
Very positive news for the city, and I'm very excited. Now we will go to the delegation. Bridgitte Pinchbeck, Rick Hansen Foundation, Rick Hansen Man in Motion Tour of 40th anniversary. Please, Bridgitte, the floor is yours, please.
Start with my papers on the right track.
Scott, yeah, bring the
that,
microphone down a little bit.
Just pull it
Yeah,
down.
that's good.
Okay.
Excellent. Thank you.
Thank you. Good evening, Mayor and Council, and I'm not sure if there's members of the Accessibility Committee here, but good evening to them as well. My name is Bridgitte Pinchbeck, and I have the honor tonight of speaking with you on behalf of the Rick Hansen Foundation. Rick and his team began the epic Man in Motion World Tour on March 21st, 1985. The dream to raise funds to find a cure for spinal cord injuries. The tour spanned 34 countries, 26 months, and was tagged a 40,000-kilometer marathon around the world, raising $26 million. That's quite a feat for its time. Today, Rick continues his work through the foundation named for him and has been integral in raising over $400 million. The funds have been delivered, these funds have been delivering program, heightened awareness, changed attitudes, and improved the quality of life for people with disabilities. A fierce advocate for accessibility, he states, "The journey has just begun. We have such a long way to go. We have made impact, progress, but to reach a world without barriers for people with disabilities, there is still a big climb. While progress has been significant, 1 in 4 Canadians still face barriers to full participation. As we celebrate this milestone, we are rallying Canadians to continue the journey that Rick began. Ensuring accessibility is not an afterthought, but a foundation for a strong community. Carla Qualtrough, Canada's first ever cabinet minister for persons with disability, collaborated with Rick Hansen's foundation team to accelerate the growth of a global movement to advance disability inclusion. She created a national legislation and policy framework on disability rights legislation within the Accessible Canada Act, which set a goal of making Canada barrier-free by 2040. And how does that bring me here? April 2nd, 2027 will be the 40th anniversary of Rick and his team arriving in his hometown and our hometown of Williams Lake. I'm inviting you to be involved. Although I have so many plans, keeping things brief and focused, I'll share these key activities on their agenda. A public engagement campaign inviting Canadians to support disability inclusion, including a call to give $40 for the 40th anniversary. National storytelling and awareness initiatives, sharing journeys of lived experience, innovation, and accessibility leadership. A special anniversary announcement, and this is one of the key reasons why I'm here, an exciting national initiative that will break down barriers across communities in Canada is coming on December 3rd in the form of a webinar. And I am requesting that the City Council will attend, and it will be time well spent, an investment in our city. The last key initiative is the Rick Hansen documentary film. This is very exciting for me. Produced by the Network Entertainment, premiering in Toronto and Vancouver in 2026 at the National Film Festivals, with red carpet gala events celebrating Rick's legacy and the movement he helped launch. I'm so pleased to share that we will be hosting a very special screening of that event immediately after its launch in Vancouver.
Fantastic.
Rick's vision that everybody should be able to go everywhere is prevalent in 40th anniversary initiatives honoring the past, showcasing progress, and set to inspire the next generation. I believe that as a team and Rick's hometown, we can become a shining example and provide an accessible city for all. Because, as Rick has said, everybody should be able to go everywhere. I would like to propose two things to you. First, work with the Rick Hansen Foundation Accessibility Certification to measure, to improve, and to inspire meaningful accessibility in all of our buildings. And two, ensure that we are present for the special anniversary announcement on December 3rd. Again, very important that we have somebody on that webinar. Let it fuel us and achieve a piece of the foundation's dream for the buildings, the places, and the spaces where people live, work, learn, and play, to be inclusive for everyone. Help us write our next chapter, An Accessible World, and let's welcome Rick home, April 2nd, 2027. Thank you.
You probably aware, I got a speaker list going on. I was heavy-handed involved when Rick Hansen came. In fact, somebody told me I was a single individual person who raised the maximum or highest money for him. I don't know, nobody told me directly. I received a phone call or message from Rick for different reason Friday. We were chatting, and I knew he was coming Friday because the agenda was prepared and brought to my attention. And when we did his 25th year celebration, I chaired that committee in town, and we did it. I think at least I could be called myself very proud of and honored to chair that committee. We did excellent work that time. I don't see any reason why, being a hometown of Rick Hansen, this council, this community would not be standing with you, standing with Rick Hansen, our very own hero. I'm sure the people sitting behind you, they all listen to you, and they're all nodding head when you was talk, and so I'm sure each and every one of them going to support you, okay? And now I got Councillor Beam and Councillor Nelson.
Thank you, Your Worship. Thanks, Bridgitte, for the presentation. And I think I just missed it, but I'm assuming you'll send us all the dates that you'd like. So the webinar was what day?
December 3rd.
Oh, okay. And you'll send that out to council and is that for whoever wants to do it? Like,
Absolutely.
so is it
could
during the
go-
day? Do you know? Like
It
hours,
is. It's
evening?
9 a.m. on the 3rd.
For how long? Do you know?
I don't know off the top of my head. I
you'll
believe it's
send
an
it.
hour, but I will
Oh,
send the
1 hour.
link.
All right. And the date for the screening, is that April 2nd or is that?
Well, first of all, I have a room to book. Rick and I've been loosely throwing stuff around for
Okay, so
a
it's not a
couple of
confirmed
months.
date? Okay.
I can give you a tentative date, one that we've worked out within his schedule, and it's the 17th of October next year, in
Right.
26.
Right.
Yeah.
And so the project would start in 26, like, or so you'll work with the accessibility committee for a project for?
What we would like to see happen is, to simplify it,
Yeah.
that mayor and council and other people that would be involved in deciding what our project could be, our accessibility project could be, something that is a need and a want and something that can be achieved by 2027. It needs to be complete, obviously, by March 31st, 27, because Rick will be in town on the 2nd of April. So we would like to have that project complete. So that would be then decided, and then the request to work with Rick's team. They can come and they can do an assessment, they can give you a solution, they can help you work out a budget, and basically leave it within your hands. And as we know, there's all kinds of grants and all kinds of wonderful things out there and people.
Even through the Rick Hansen Foundation.
Yeah, exactly. And so that's kind of the beginning of what I would like to see happen first. And because a project can often, with all of the I hate to say barriers, but
Nuances,
sometimes
yes.
we need to get on that right away. I'd hate to see us leave it and then not have permits go through and
So
have all
I don't
these
want
other
to
issues
speak for
happen.
staff, but I'm sure they'll reach out because we have this amazing, our accessibility is very, very good. Jasmine's actually she's
Excellent.
not here, or she's online, so she'll probably be
Actually,
ready
she's
to
on
speak.
through the
But
Zoom.
they are an amazing group. I think they're a huge breakout. But I'm
Yeah.
excited to hear. And if you could get me that date on that time, or that, how long it is, because I'll have to sign up for it to.
For sure.
But that'd be great.
What I will do is I will send the link to you, and then everyone who wants to participate can register.
I
we
would,
can send
not that I'm
anybody.
against sending the link to Council Bain, but if you could
Send it
send
to
it to
everybody, yeah.
Mr.
Yeah, I'll send it to
Coupet,
Rob, yeah.
yeah, and he will pass on all the information you wanted.
Absolutely.
Communicate, please correspond with Mr. Coupet.
And then we
will.
can send it to whoever.
We will get everything, and if, in case council member or somebody else wanted to join, they have to pre-register something, we can put it through the city page or city web page.
Okay.
And we can do something, okay? I got Council Nelson, then I got Jasmine, Council Line, please. Nelson.
Thank you, Your Worship. Thank you, Bridgitte. Appreciate very much the leadership bringing this forward. Fully supportive. I think that this is a huge opportunity. This is Rick Hansen's hometown. Being the hometown, we should be a partner and a leader helping to achieve the goals. So I'm very supportive. I'll be adding on to the recommendation in terms of what's in front of us tonight, in terms of being able to support the 40th Rick Hansen Madam Motion Tour, as well as putting on an event as well. So we want to be a key partner in all this. So 100%. Thank you very, very much for the leadership.
I got Council Line, please.
Thank you, and thank you for the presentation. And yeah, I'm the city liaison for the Accessibility Committee here, and I'm always just so impressed with everything that they're able to achieve. And I love how much they do reference the Rick Hansen Society, and just the goals that they work towards are always ones that they are manageable. They're things that we can always get on quickly, and the city staff are always great with working alongside them and making sure that all of that's completed. So I think this would be a fantastic thing to see, and I look forward to seeing the email for it. Thanks.
And you know, Council Line is Council representative on the committee, so she bring all the information. And you can stay in touch with her along the committee.
Thank you.
okay? Council Moser, please.
Thank you, Your Worship. Yeah, first off, thank you so much for your presentation tonight. These updates are really exciting for us to hear. The city of Williams Lake, during our first year of this term, was actually one of the first municipalities in Canada to adopt and commit to the Rick Hansen Foundation Accessibility Certified Gold status. So I think we'll be pretty excited to take some of the recommendations that you'd be willing to give us and to have these conversations on how we can improve accessibility right here in our own community. Accessible for all. I think that says it all. When you were speaking these words to us, it really rang close to my heart as I take care of my mother and my father and my grandmother, and two of the three have mobility issues. So I'm excited to hear my colleagues' recommendations on how we can be more supportive and how we can join in these celebrations. Thank you. Thank you, Your Worship.
Thank you. Usually we don't make any decision when the delegations are present, but because of Rick Hansen, I'm going to supersede it, let it go with it. Councilor Nelson, there's a clerk's note, and you can add your recommendation to this.
Just the amendment, Your Worship, that's in front of us, that the presentation from Bridgitte Pinchbeck, Rick Hansen Foundation regarding the Rick Hansen Madam Motion Tour 40th anniversary event be received for information and endorsed. And further, the discussion of an accessibility project be referred to the city's accessibility advisory committee. And further, council support the 40th Rick Hansen Madam Motion Tour for a main event in Williams Lake.
Moved and seconded. This is excellent win-win. I was a lot younger when I did it last time, 25 year or 40 year back. I'm kind of going downhill now. I'll definitely give you my full support, whichever way I could, and you got council support. It's our own hometown hero. We can't let him go without, he started his journey from Williams Lake. the council members here. He actually promised me on Friday night he will be here, as most of the audience people sitting in the behind you know. We're building a new hospital. He promised me he'll be here opening of the ribbon cutting of the hospital. So it's going to be nothing but a win-win situation. All in favor of the motion on the floor? Oppose, if any, carried unanimously. Thank you, ma'am. I really appreciate your
Thanks,
effort.
Bridget.
Please, once again, stay in touch with Mr. Coupe, all the correspondence, everything, and leave your phone number or call him, give him tomorrow. So we will. Okay, second delegation.
Thanks, Bridget.
We are a bit behind, but things are going pretty good according to the time. Susan Sullivan and Sue Hemphill, please, along with Emma. Welcome. Should.
Okay, thank you. Sue, you go ahead. Yeah.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for having us tonight. Most of you know me. I've been involved with so many projects in this community over a long number of years related to environmental care and getting people out in nature and helping them understand their connection. I have a lot of biology background, but this winter I went back to school to bring myself up to date on all the changes that are happening related to the climate. And tonight, I'm one of the two designated to represent people from our community who've come together recently in the Community Climate Circle. People like the many you see behind me who care about having a safe and affordable home that they can actually afford insurance for, and they don't have to worry about burning down or flooding out. They're worried about their health and care about their health of their family and friends, and being able to afford food on the table and clean water coming out of their tap. And the many youth you see behind me who want a future where they and all of nature can thrive in our Cariboo Chilcotin with healthy forests and clean water. So we realize that the changes that the climate are affecting everything we are around. And if we want to fix this and have a future for those youth behind us, there are many things we can do, but we need to do them now. That's why I'm here.
Hi, Mayor and Council. I know you, you may not know me. I just want to say I'm so honored to be standing here with Sue, a longtime director on Scout Island, and what a gem we have in Williams Lake. So me, myself, I've lived here for 35 years and worked for the province for most of those years, and led First Nations consultation on a variety of natural resource activities, forestry, mining, lands, major projects, fish and wildlife. And often the conversation comes around to climate change, and more so now. And so I had to balance prosperity, economic prosperity, and the environment. And it's a real interest for me over the years, and it's become even more concerning for all of us, locally and globally, about the climate. So that's why we're here. Let's make Williams Lake a place that is one of those communities across Canada that shows that we can make incremental steps and changes to climate change. And the economy depends on an environment, a healthy environment. So we can't, it's foundational to that. And we have to look after that environment. And it shows, is showing throughout all sorts of studies that we have things that are happening positively and even more negatively. So let's be ahead of that in Williams Lake. I'm also teaching an introduction to climate change in January at TRU, and it's an introduction to climate change science. So 30% of it is climate science, and 2/3 of it is stories about what we can do locally, what's happening globally, what are the successes, what are the challenges, and there's lots of them. But here we have some we provided a written submission that we hope was helpful to mayor and council and to the staff about what we think the changes we can make to the future for Williams Lake, and we could become a town that shows that we can do it. Okay, we got the PowerPoint up. That's pretty self-explanatory. I know we don't have much time to talk, so we want to leave some time for questions. So we'll go to the next slide. We had submitted a pretty detailed submission. I referenced that, and we picked out a few things for this presentation. So for here, we felt in red, those are our suggestions, words to add into the vision, because we want to see a bit more reference to the climate and a clean, low carbon future. And I think, that just helps people maybe ask questions. What does that mean? Or they say, oh, okay, how can we get there? So the next slide. This we found in the city's documentation, and we just thought we'd bring it up. And it looks like you had some ideas on how to spend the money, but weren't quite sure where to put it. And there was $300,000+ on hold. And this is what our presentation is about, that we like to have some influence on how the money could be spent. I saw you shaking your head. Is there
No.
question?
Sorry, the mayor asked me a question about the money, and I was just saying
Sure.
that's not what's in there right now.
Yeah, sure. So I picked up on that. I thought, well, let's get to the problem now. Okay, so the next slide, Ross, thank you. So this is we know that the city has been working on climate change for a number of years, and it's kind of fits and starts. And you did have a person working on it. We really believe you need a person, whether it's our staff person or a contract or something, to pull the things you've been doing together on this topic, because it won't happen if you don't have a climate action plan and you have a communication education strategy for residents and an ecosystem water body protection strategy in your plan, but you have it as priority 5 to 10 years from now. So in our submission, we had said, we want that moved up to priority 1 because we see this as a priority. And we recognize that you don't have the resources to put it to a priority 1. You need more people power to get it done. And it's important to have a strategy in place so knee-jerk decisions don't get made, and it doesn't have to be complicated. A strategy can be a living document that at least the city is feeling that they're on a spectrum of decisions to make towards decreasing greenhouse gas emissions. Okay, so we put an estimated 100,000. That was just our suggestion. On the next slide, that person or contract could also support local food security efforts, work with city planners and all sorts of adaptations and mitigation, including housing, business, industrial development to demonstrate the maintenance of green space, shade, and water sources. And these are not expensive things. They add up to a good result. There's also, we could have a person looking at solar panels on roofs and other campaigns, the impact of idling vehicles. All of these things are, we need a person, I think you need a person to coordinate on. And our subcommittee or committee, which is, I think most people here have come to show that they would like to support the city on this. Go ahead, Sue.
The next slide, please, Ross. You've already done a lot of work on active transport, and I congratulate you on that. And it was very wise of you to farm the work out, because there's a lot of expertise in the community, and you get good bang for your buck that way. And we want that to continue, and again, to be a priority one. Let's not lose the momentum of that. Active transport is a very important climate action to take, but it also brings the community together. It makes it more livable for everyone. And the next slide, please. This is a simple one. One vehicle. We're guessing at, because we know you have to buy new vehicles. Put the extra money out to do at least one electric line. Put a big sign on it. Look what we're doing. What are you doing? Make it part of the strategy, proudly showing that you're leading this movement. And the next one, please. You've been doing a lot of things. You've already done some electrical outlets at the farmers market. We need more of those. We don't want diesel motors going there. And those little things you put out for bikes I'm often locking my bike to a sign, which is okay, but it'd be better to have these things in there cheap. And again, they advertise, we care, we're making movements, and everybody can take part in this. That's really important. So again, I want to tell you that we really appreciate this opportunity, and we appreciate that you have stepped up to lead our community in all the roles that we do. I wouldn't do your job for all the money in the world. I'm sorry, I just wouldn't. So I appreciate that you do it. And we understand how your attention is drawn to so many buckets of needs, whether it's poverty or where the next jobs are going to come for, or safety from our streets. But climate change is not another added bucket. It's actually the whole in each of those buckets, because it's draining our energy, our financial resources, and our hope. What we need to do is stem that flow. And the way you stem that flow is by action and including your community so they know we're moving forward. We want you to work with you so that we're working in a more focused and synergetic way. I know sometimes it feels overwhelming, and you might be listening from the news from the latest COP climate program meeting that's going on. But you have to remember that a decade ago, when the Paris Agreement was first signed, we were looking at a world that was going to heat by 4 to 5 degrees. Right now, the prediction is 2.8 degrees. That's not enough. That's not enough of a reduction. But we did something over the last decade. What the science says is that every bit of warming that we can avoid by reducing our emissions will have a difference. And maybe if we're lucky, we'll even save chocolate, which I need. But for the youth behind me, let's all pull together. We can do this. And the Climate Circle is happy to help. Call on us. There's a lot of expertise, and we'll step right up and help. Thank you.
Well, thank you, folks, for your encouragement. Council is doing everything, point well taken. I got speaker list going on. There's an item further down we've been working on extending the bus service. That's take another cars off the highway or road if we can. And I remember, but this council has 3 years completed in office. We were working over 2 years. And there's an item on the agenda later on, if you want to stick around, you'll see that. Everything, don't take me wrong, I'm not saying I'm not in favor. I'm in favor of everything you said. Some of the item I have spearheaded, but everything costs money, and it's your tax dollar. Council all council does is they juggle the number, prioritize this over this, this over this. Council is on board with the climate change. At the committee, it's part of the OCP. That is the reason it went into the OCP, because this council wanted. I'm so honored. So there's no recommendation. Tell you today, I don't think I've seen this many people for a long time in the chamber. You may have heard, watched, witnessed us through the media or through the YouTube. This council have achieved everything possibly, positively they could, anything came to this council table. It's not me, it's not Councillor Delaney or Councillor Nelson or my colleagues that the council as a whole, working along with the staff, we have achieved everything positively to date. I stand on record for this thing. What would happen tomorrow, I don't know. This council has been pushing together collaboratively, working with the other level of government, regardless it's a regional government, regional district, regardless of First Nation, school board, provincial or federal. I'm glad you people come time to time and remind us if any one of us, or council member or me, myself as a chair, we try to get off the track, you put us back on that track. Thank you very much. I got Councillor Delaney first, then Councillor Bain, please.
Mayor Rather, could I respond?
Please.
We really do appreciate the efforts you've made, and probably one of the wisest things you've done over the last decade is to reach out to community groups. If you think of how the work you've done with the Conservation Society and encouraging them, the water-wise, the waste-wise, it's had huge effects in our community. But most important is their education that they've done of the community. And the Accessibility Committee, they're making things accessible, just like the active transport want to. And the field naturalists who have brought people to nature. We understand that. I understand the money problems. We all understand that. But we are here to help, and there is energy in the group to help you look for grants. I've been writing grant proposals for 100 years, and I'm happy to help. Just let us know what you need.
Where could I find a better friend and person than you, Sue?
Yeah.
I tell you that, thank you, folks. I have worked on numerous projects with Sue, and she knows me, I knows her. We both of us, there's no BS, there's no air gap in between. When we say we do it. And thank you very much. And by the way, I do have an excellent person on city staff, but your offer is taken. Don't be surprised if you receive phone call within a day or two before I let it go to the council. It's my philosophy. Before I give the floor to the council member, I always bring my staff and they wanted to tell me something. Mr. CEO, please.
Thanks, Your Worship. Good to see you again, Sue. This Cariboo Climate Circle, do you meet regularly?
Well, yeah, we formed about 3 or 4 months ago, and we're meeting quite regularly to respond to the OCP. So the intent is to meet regularly.
Okay, yeah. The reason why I'm asking is because the Active Transportation Group is a very great model as a working group and not a committee. And they're able to get together and they come up with projects that are able to be considered by council as we go forward. And those projects give us opportunities to go look for grants when they're on the list. So we can't apply for grants, we can't get a project if we don't have a list of projects. You've mentioned a few in here, and that's fantastic. But I think that outside of being a committee, a working group is a great place to start. And I know Ruth is part of the Active Transportation Group, and I think that and Marie is as well as staff. And I think that that's a great Denise. And Denise, is Denise DeShannon here? There you go. Yes, I think she's part of it. Yeah. So I think that I think it's a fantastic opportunity to model it after like the Active Transportation Group, and council has put created a position on staff, albeit it may not be exactly what everybody wanted at the time, but it's a third position, being active transportation, climate change, and Indigenous relations. And that staff member has worked a lot with active transportation and Indigenous relations, but climate change has not gotten to an area where we obviously would like it. And I think I think the next steps would be to model it after active transportation, come up with a list, and then start coming up with projects. And as we start reviewing budgets, we can put projects in every year or get grants and stuff like that. Because right now we have a capital plan, and there's I think there's $250,000 right now for climate change in the account, but that doesn't take into account where we're going to spend it to offset capital in the next 5 years. So there's projects that are related to climate change where we'll take a percentage, if this were related to climate change, out of those coffers to fund that, which would be nice if there was a list. Then we could say, well, this might be a higher priority to the group as a whole, other than us doing a retention pond or something like that.
Yeah, I think to confirm, so I understand what you're saying, is that like we work very closely with the active transportation group, working group. So what you're saying is we should have followed their structure and identify things that we think need to be done, and then we speak to you, the council, the city. I wasn't sure what.
Your worship, I think although they cross paths and are related, they're not completely related. And when we talk about the Fraser Basin Council, they have a contract till March. So there's no commitment to go past March with the Fraser Basin Council, but there is commitment from this council to have staff member facilitated 33% of a position for the different areas. So climate change will get 33% of that staff member's time based on this council's direction. So, I mean, balancing everything, it's if active transportation needs more at some point, it may be different numbers and stuff like that because they do align somewhat. But if climate change has different priorities that don't align necessarily completely with active transportation, I think you're your own entity, and it would be nice to have your own list of things and priorities that you'd like to do, whether it be food security, whether it be stuff like trucks, electric trucks. Those don't align with active transportation. So having that list of priorities from the climate group might be something that you may want to start
I
collaborating.
think we could put that together fairly quickly. I'm gonna thank you for your input and explaining this to us. I think we're on the same page. We'll provide a list to you, absolutely.
And you have been, sorry, your worship, yeah?
Please.
And you have been working with Marie, correct? Marie knows everything.
Oh,
climate
Marie,
change.
yes,
Yeah, Marie.
yes.
So she'd be your contact for the city, and she would help align and coordinate those efforts, much like she did with active transportation. And we'd be happy to present a list to council.
That sounds very positive. Thank you so much for that.
You guys must be close to my heart. I usually don't allow anybody to clap, but this is the fourth, fifth time. I'll let it, you guys keep clapping when you're happy. I get a Councillor Delaney, and then Councillor Beam, then Councillor Mosel, please.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you, Susan and Sue, for taking the time to look at the OCP and to bring your expertise and your community knowledge forward, and to offer edits and to offer solutions. And you're absolutely right. It is better bang for your buck when you get committees, when you get people that are passionate, they have the experience, they have the expertise, and they have the time to be able to bring those recommendations forward. I mean, we dove right into operations there, so that's awesome. You've got a connection. That's great. My questions actually weren't going to be for you. We generally don't make recommendations when we receive a delegation, but this table operates a little bit differently. My question is to staff, actually. So Gary, has this information that these ladies have presented has been sent to Marie and to Beth? Like, have they looked at it? Because those are the two ladies that are leading the charge for the OCP.
Go ahead. Your worship, to Councillor Delaney, they are well aware of this. The OCP, there's a little bit of information. This presentation had some facts that they were able to dig up. They're pretty accurate, actually, but but yes, no, Marie's really involved with this, and yeah, she has been communicating with my office, and
Excellent.
yes.
Okay, because I think that your vision statement, I like your vision statement, and I think that those, little edits are something worth considering. So I think that if staff has had a look at it, and if they're in agreement with the edits, I'm sure that we'll see that brought forward back to a council of the whole. for approval. I think the pieces that are inside of it, the financial ask, I think, what to the CAO had said, working with Marie and bringing those shovel-ready projects and saying, here's a grant, and just basically telling the city how to do it. Just like, here you go. Here's how you get the grant. Here's how it can work. And this is what the financial ask is going to be on your side, because that's what matters, on the bottom line of being able to balance all of those asks, right? Is to be able to say, okay, yeah, we can do that because we can fund it, 80% by grant, and it's only going to cost the taxpayers this much money. Or we could start, I'm not a big fan of permissive tax exemptions. So if we ever get some of that money back, there's ways to fund some of this stuff. So I just applaud your efforts for taking time, the whole group, to take the time to really review and to take a look at that and bring those edits forward. And I would like to see that those edits do come back to council in the vision statement, because I think those are important, and I think they're worth looking at and having to vote on. Otherwise, thank you so much for all you do.
Thank you, Councillor Dunning. Councillor Blaine, please.
Thank you, Worship. Thank you guys for coming. So appreciative. And I don't know how many of you know, but I'm just going to do a couple things. But I'm actually chair of the Environment Committee for the province through UBCM, on the board for UBCM. So I'm the Environment Chair. And I just wanted to give you a bit of an update about that. So we discussed lots of things provincially that are going on, including water sustainability, the watershed, all of that for the province. We do disaster and climate control, Clean BC. We look at all policies related to that, for the, like I said, for the province. And right now we're really trying to push for industrial packaging recycling, because of course that doesn't get recycled right now. So it's a huge cost. And so BC is one of the leaders in asking people that produce something to actually pay for the recycling of it. Is kind of amazing. We're kind of the province is a leader in that. But I just wanted to say, in that role, I probably have access to more stuff or things as well for access to that sort of stuff. The city also has done lots of reports on watershed. Like, we get updates regularly that ours is in good continue. We do have the active transportation, which was brought, that we support that. We support paths, trying to renovate. I recently got myself an e-bike, like we're pretty supportive of things like biking, the Scout Island, those types of programs to keep those as well. And I just wanted to do a big plug for the regional district, getting the new compost. So I'm always big. I actually pay to have compost, pay the Cariboo compost to pick up, because I'm just such a, the bears got into my stuff too much. So I now pay, but there with the regional district, because one of the biggest producers of emissions is our dump. So if everybody got into, everybody should be doing compost, in my opinion. So it is one of my biggest plugs, is to please try to recycle your organic waste, because, and we have this amazing, like what they do down there with at the potato house, trying to, and getting that, I just love the delivery. So, and I have friends and I have family that have started doing it as well, but we have to pay every time the dump. It's why getting something like this down at the regional district, we actually pay, it's a huge thing that we pay for. So if we can get everybody recycling your organics, like I have very little actual garbage, because most of it is recycling. So, and especially with the organics, I can go 3-4 weeks before I have to take something to put something in a bag. So it's just all the things that we are doing, like you say, but there's always work for more. This is a huge passion of mine as well. And just, like I am, I'm probably the go-to for that. Thanks.
Councillor Moses, please. Thank you, Councillor Blaine.
Could I respond to Councillor Bean?
Please.
Thank you. I agree. And there are so many things happening in this community, and we are happy that they are going on. But I think our original statement was that we need a community climate change action plan moved to priority 1, because it is the coordination of these efforts that will allow things to really move forward. It will be cheaper in the long run, so that we're not repeating each other's efforts, but enhancing each other's efforts. So I think that's our closing message, is please, can we put an action plan together as priority 1? And again, we're happy to help with that.
Thank you. Anything from you? Councillor Moses.
Thank you, Your Worship. Don't do your closing statement yet. I still get to talk.
I did not know.
Thank you, Sue and Susan, for your really informed talk with us tonight. We really need the views of our professionals and our most educated on the topic, so that we can ensure that we make the best decisions possible when it comes to climate. I agree with you that we can set a great example right here in Williams Lake for municipalities across the province or even across the country if we're willing to make a few bold statements and bold moves ahead of the other municipalities. It would very likely create a great chain of events that we could be really proud of here. To start that, you've already provided us with a really strong list of potential changes. And as a member of the Climate Caucus and our local conservation society, which I see most of the members here tonight, and the Green Municipal Fund that we're talking about receiving a grant from federally just later tonight, I agreed with the majority, if not all of the list that you provided. So I'd just like to make a simple motion, if possible, Your Worship.
Could we wait for a minute or two so that everybody finish, please? I'll come to you.
Okay.
Okay. Anybody else? Councillor Nelson, anything? You heard both of you, all the council member. My office always encouraged council member being involved. Councillor Beam have done an excellent job representing us regionally, representing us provincially. And if she's not correctly on federal level, she would be pretty soon, I suppose. And she got full support from my office. That is why I push council member to be involved further than their council, so that way we got a direct contact with the senior level of government. As you know, senior level of government had a tendency to download. I'm trying to reverse it, being your representative. I always say this publicly, I'm on record saying this, any organization, corporation is known by their workers. The community is known by their volunteer like Sue and Suzanne. There's so many others sitting in the back. So many are not here. When you volunteer, it's a different community. When you are offering what you're offering tonight, tell me which council would say no to you. Okay? So hats off to you. Most of the community knows how I work. If I can bring every penny from Ottawa and Victoria, I'll do it right now. There's hardly any day, trust me, it's not flattening to anybody when I'm not talking to somebody my council member knows in Victoria or Ottawa for the grants. We are trying our best. Are we where we were on 30th October 2022? No. We have come a long way. Have we reached where we wanted to be? No way. We got a long way to go yet. We can only achieve our mission, our goal, with the help from volunteers like you, citizens like sitting behind you. We need to work together. Keep showing your support. Keep working. I'm sure it won't be very long, folks, when we would be called the leader. I never wanted to be the follower. I don't want the city to be follower. We are the leader in Rick Hansen's mission. We had more per capita sidewalk building public accessible than anywhere in BC or Canada. That's what Rick told me. Similarly, folks like yourself, I wanted to be a leader in the climate action plan, okay? Councillor Moses, please.
Thank you, Your Worship. I'd like to make a motion for council to receive the presentation as information and to refer to Committee of the Whole to speak on and go over the provided list more thoroughly, and to talk about the potential working group with the Cariboo Climate Circle, and to potentially edit our official community plan's vision statement. Thank you, Your
I'll
Worship.
second.
Moved and seconded, Councillor Moses and Councillor Lyon. Any discussion on the motion?
Thank you.
Hearing none, all in favor. Motion carried. Thank you, lady. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Hats off. Man, don't break my heart. I hope you guys not all going to leave now. Yes, we can if you want. Well, we'll hold the meeting for a minute or so. Okay, folks, if you have to leave, please be a little quiet. I would appreciate it. We got lots of business to do. General Government A, computer checks, please.
The recommendation that the accounts payable computer check and EFT listings dated November 11th and 13th, 2025 be received for information.
Moved and seconded. Any question, addition, deletion? Hearing none. All in favor? Carried. SPCA contract renewal.
The recommendation that pursuant to the November 12th report of the Chief Bylaw Enforcement Officer, Council approve the new Pound Services Operating Agreement contract with the BC SPCA for a 3-year term effective January 1st, 2026 to December 31st, 2028, an annual amount of $25,994.40 with an annual increase in accordance with the Consumer Price Index paid in monthly installments of $2,166.20, and further that the Mayor and Corporate Officer be authorized to sign the agreement on behalf of the City.
So moved.
Moved and seconded. Any question, concern? I wanted to send my gratitude to the SPCA. They have done an excellent job. I'm so happy. Somebody from the community told me, because the issue going on between the SPCA and Canal, and be ready, Your Worship, what you hear from them. And I laughingly replied to my friend, I said, hey, it's a different council in William Lake compared to Canal. And my thoughts came true. I couldn't be more happier, and I wanted to thanks to the SPCA local leadership. All in favor? Opposed, if any? Carried unanimously. BC Transit Service, please.
The recommendation that pursuant to the report of the Director of Municipal Services dated November 4th, 2025, Council enter into a memorandum of understanding with BC Transit to introduce Sunday transit service for Williams Lake beginning April 2026 at an additional cost to the City of $53,481.
Moved and seconded. Councillor Nelson, please.
Thank you very much, Your Worship. Well, I'll be supporting the recommendation to increase the opportunity to have bus service in our community 7 days a week. We have tried this request previously in the past. It's a net cost to the city of about $54,000 a year. Over a 3-year period of a memorandum of understanding, it's about $85,000 a year. Our cost about $54,000. The intent behind this is to provide that service that's been requested by the public many different times, especially the key areas throughout the community, the Walmart area and that area, throughout the rest of our community as well. So the whole intent behind this is that to establish this with this memorandum of understanding, the opportunity of a 3-year commitment and ensuring that it's going to be continued for a 3-year service. So the revenues that we would get off is $3,000 to $4,000 a year, rough and dirty, they estimated. The cost of the city is about $54,000 a year, and the cost of the program is about $81,000. So if you extrapolate that over a 3-year period, 81 times 3, 200 some odd thousand. The city's portion of that is about 150,000. So we're subsidizing it by that amount. So it's a much needed service throughout the community that we've been asked for. I recognize it's an increase in service. We'll have to fine tune the budget to ensure that it fits within our cost 0%, but it's something that I will be supporting because I think it's a much needed service. Thank you.
Councilor Moses.
Thank you, Your Worship. Yeah, this is a project that we've been needing and wanting for quite a while and trying to get from BC Transit. I think this will be something that our community will see a lot of good from, including less loitering in our downtown during the daytime hours. That this is a really good first step in increasing the transit in our community. Now we just need to get the next step of getting it into our regional district from our downtown. So that'll be our next push at the province. Thank you, Worship.
Thank you, Councilor Moses. Yes, like my colleague said, this council has pushed 2 years in a row, but somehow BC Transit hasn't been able to deliver the service. And this is not a done deal final. Council is approving it. It's up to the BC Transit to finalize it. Hopefully, they will finalize sooner than later. And it is in front of the community to let you know how much new services council has taken over. And we are ready to stand for our community with the senior level of government. All in favor? It must have been tradition before me. I started wholeheartedly. I recognize the previous colleagues, the authorities, when they're in the audience. I apologize, former Mayor Cook. I don't know where my mind was. I didn't notice you. I saw Dan sitting. Former Mayor, Council Member, Kerry Cook is in the audience. Welcome. I appreciate it. And my apology recognizing late. BC Vision Zero Road Safety.
The recommendation that pursuant to the report of the planner dated November 10th, 2025, Council approve a BC Vision Zero Road Safety Grant Program application in the amount of $20,000, and that the city contribute $10,000 drawn from the LGCAP funds held in reserve for a total project value of $30,000 to develop a corridor feasibility study for traffic calming measures along Western Avenue between Midnight Avenue and Pigeon Avenue.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Carried unanimously. Sorry. Vitaly, go ahead.
Well, my suggestion would be not to approve it outright, but to add it to the budget discussions,
Thank you.
which we're planning to schedule next month.
Okay. Thank you very much. And my apology, I didn't notice you. You're behind Councillor Bain, so I couldn't even see you. Yeah,
Your worship.
yeah.
Just further to that, and I think we have to go to Marie here. I think there's this first part here is just to have the application to do the grant funding thing, is it not?
Yes.
And I think it's time sensitive, so it can't go through budget.
Yes.
So the first part for sure has to go prior.
Yes, so this grant
Marie, your
application is
microphone.
due, this grant application to just submit to be considered for the grant is due on November 28th. So we just wanted to get the commitment from council that should we be successful in getting the grant, that we would be able to complete the works.
That's the way I was reading it.
Yes. Yeah.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Moving along, we have the vote.
Did you have the vote?
Yes, we did the
My
vote.
apologies.
Yes. Green Municipal Fund.
The recommendation that pursuant to the report of the planner dated November 10th, 2025, Council approve an application to the Green Municipal Fund under the Safe and Active School Routes in the amount of $125,000, of which $25,000 will be the city's contribution drawn from the LGCAP funds held in reserve.
So moved. Second.
Moved and seconded. Mr. CEO, please.
Thanks, Your Worship. So I just want to point out further to the delegation that we had there regarding climate change. This is the money that we're spending right now on these kind of projects. So every time we're approving these things, this is what's coming out of that that budget. So albeit it was great that they came, and the benefit is they'll be able to create priorities outside of what just staff does. So I just want to make council aware that we are spending this money and there are projects. And I think that the group that came, like they mentioned, it's great to hear that they will come up with priorities that we don't see as staff. So, but I just want to make everybody aware that we are spending this money.
Excellent. Any more debate? Councillor Delaney, please.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and maybe this is for the CAO then, or maybe it's for Vitaly. So we actually have the money in the kitty for these two anyway, so they don't actually need to go for financial consideration because we have the money full stop, right? Like if as long as we get the grant, we've got the money. So this doesn't have to go back to budget.
Please.
Yeah, Your Worship, this is money we already have sitting in a reserve.
That's what I thought. Okay.
So yes, but you do have to approve the projects.
Yeah, that's fine. Okay.
So yes, this is not going to be a drain.
It's not an
or-
extra cost.
It's not a taxation thing.
Okay, perfect.
Like it's,
Yep.
yes.
That's all I need.
Councillor Moses.
Thank you, Your Worship. It's always fun to see a program that you serve on our agenda. I'm actually on the Green Municipal Fund federally, but I do have a question regarding what we'll be utilizing it for. Is this going to be as through as a project as Kamloops was testing. I think it was a year or two ago when they were closing off an avenue for school bikers, or is this just going to be like some lanes, or what will this include?
Your worship, Councillor Moses, the idea behind this, and I'll pass it off to Marie here in a second, but it'd be more along the line for a study to look at like traffic calming and things to reduce greenhouse gases, et cetera. But I will pass it off to Marie so she can comment on it as well.
So we have 2 grant requests coming at the council meeting. The first one is the corridor study, where we'll look and see what improvements we can do, whether it be bump outs, whatever, and then we'll use that information that we get to then use the Green Municipal Fund, the Safe and Active School routes, to be able to implement sort of the best possible scenarios for that area between Midnight and Pigeon Avenue along Western.
Thank you.
Please.
And just further to that, Councillor Moses, like if you look at schools and stuff like that, they're traditionally areas where there's a lot of idling and a lot of things like that. So there'll be an effort to reduce those sort of things and reduce the greenhouse gases that are emitted in these school areas.
Great. I did attend a showing with your worship, I think about 2 years ago, that was on this topic. That's why I was curious how close it was to it. Okay, thank you.
Keep up the good work and make sure we get more money from federal government. And that's why we encourage you guys and send you guys to different level. All in favor? Oppose, if any, carried unanimously. Police-based victim service funding, please.
The recommendation that pursuant to the report of the manager of RCMP Municipal Services dated November 10th, 2025, Council approved the 2026 to 2028 Victim Services Funding Agreement between the Cariboo Regional District and the City of Williams Lake, and that the mayor and corporate officer be authorized to sign the agreement on behalf of the city.
Second.
Moved in second. This is just a renewal, nothing extra or special. After the contract finish, next item is no different, is the same. All in favor? Carried. Next item is cemetery, please.
The recommendation that pursuant to the report of the Director of Municipal Services dated November 5th, 2025, Council approved the 3-year renewal agreement with the Cariboo Regional District for cemetery services for persons within electoral areas D, E, and F of the Regional District, and further that the mayor and corporate officer be authorized to sign the agreement on behalf of the city.
So moved.
Moved and seconded. Any question, concern? Like I said, it's the same, just renewing our contract. Vitaly, please.
Well, the city finance advocated we do not approve the flat contracts for multi-year because the cost is going up, and the city finance is advocating that at least consumer price index be included in these contracts, because otherwise the cost is being passed from the CRD region to the city residents.
Now, they're very happy working with us. It's the relation we have developed between the other level of government. It's all because of the staff, folks like yourself and Mr. Mraka and his leadership, all your team. I'm very proud of you all. All in favor?
Sorry, just.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, just for
Sorry,
clarity.
somebody-
I apologize, Your Worship. Vitaly, I just wanted to make sure that it was inclusive in that contract. Was that escalation clause was inside that contract? I know it was $17,000, but is that inclusive of inside that contract?
Mr. Mraka, please.
Your Worship, these questions went out to the relevant departments, and they feel that the cost for this term will be sufficient without the escalation over the term of this contract. Everybody that's the project owners of these, whether the public works for the cemetery or whether it be the chief dean for the ESS, or it's all the costs have all been reviewed, and over the term of this contract, without the escalation, the cost will be sufficient.
Good job.
Okay.
Councillor Delaney, please.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So then to the CAO, would we then want to include those clauses like for the next contract? Okay, perfect. So that's already on your radar.
That's
No
right.
motion needed for that. but Tally's got it.
Please, go ahead.
Your worship to Councilor Delaney, we noticed that it was reflective of the cost share. So like for instance, when we talk about victim services, the actual time to go to victim services in Williams Lake compared to go to Horsefly or something like that, there was a different cost. So the ratio was figured out over time. And that ratio in the last few terms there hasn't been that equalization. So the regional district might have been getting charged a little more, it might have been more profitable. So when we reviewed it, it's actually leveling out, and we'll review the escalation in the next contract.
Oh, so unlike the sanitary.
That's right. So like when we come up with these ratios, they fall, they're not as simple as just we're providing a service directly to the regional district. They're just part and parcel to our shared service agreement. And sometimes you're the windshield, sometimes you're the bug. And right now we've been getting away with a lot more, and we're just trying to find some equalization during this term, much like we did with the fire service agreement.
Yeah, no, fair enough. And I just, because I respect our CFO's point as well, to keep an eyeball. But if we've kind of traded a little bit, and then we'll look at it again next year. We're good. Okay.
Okay, any more discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Opposed, if any, carried unanimously. Water treatment plan value.
The recommendation that pursuant to the report of the senior engineering technologist dated November 13th, 2025, Council award the water treatment plant value engineering contract to NCE Value Engineers, Inc. for the total amount of $137,000, excluding GST, for a total project cost of $150,700, including contingency and excluding GST, subject to grant program advisor approval.
So moved.
Moved and seconded. Please, Mr. Maraca.
Your worship, I think that this would be a good opportunity for Jeff to explain what value engineering is and why we're doing this.
Please.
Thank you very much. Yes, so value engineering is a really cool process where we hire a third-party set of engineers related to water treatment, related to electrical, structural, and they get together in a room with our designers of the water treatment plant, and they pick it apart. They look at all their assumptions, look at all their thought processes, their designs, and they say, well, this looks good, but, can we do this? Will this make more sense? Will this save us some money? Will this get us a better product while, saving money or adding different features or operations? It's an important process in any big project, and it's an important one for our water treatment plant, and we're looking forward to benefiting from it.
A little history. We were told, this community was told 2019 that we need to have a water treatment plant by the IHA and Canada Health System. Our water is not very good, especially for the expecting mothers as well as a child under 2-year age. For you and me, it's okay. The water is normal. And the council worked very hard. We got almost 76%, if I recall it, the money from Ottawa and Victoria. It is very unheard of this. We have a lot of projects, one-third. But this project came $25.3 million that day. When we got we are getting ready, we haven't even put the shovel in the ground, the price has escalated way over. $6.3 million our share in this. Rest was the grant from Ottawa and from Victoria. As this council is on record, we've been paying off the debt. Not only we've been paying off the regular payment, we paid $2.3 million extra debt also. I hope everybody knows that. On top of that, this council do not want to borrow money unless absolutely necessary. The way the present estimation has come, there's no way we can get away without borrowing money. We've been working hard to secure our share of $6.3 million. Sometime we have to pull hair of each other council member in the committee of the whole, but we managed to save some money, whatever the best we could. We are trying our best even today, trying to cut the cost here and there, whatever we can. But this is very important that we bring the cost down much as possible. As we all know, construction prices are very high. They're not rising by the day and night, they're rising by the minute. If you had to estimate today morning for $100,000, you come in the evening, it definitely would be going $10,000-$20,000 more. That's how the construction cost is. I, being most of the time available, I try not to disturb the council member. When I'm here witnessing, opening any tender, receiving any option, I think there was only one project came within budget. Nothing came within budget. In September, we was in Victoria. Our biggest request to the Premier's office was, how are we going to survive? Are you telling us to lie? Rather than $5 million on the project, we put $10 million ahead of time or something? We won't do that. It won't happen under my leadership. We will tell you the exact what we had it, and once we have done that, and then we will give you the exact price. But we want to hear from you how we, the resource-based community, having a bare own budget, how we going to afford the skyrocketing the construction cost. He told us what he did. We discussed. Staff is working on his advice. We're working on it. Council working on it. Hopefully, we will bring the fruit to this community. That's what it is. We are doing another set of eye, see if we can shape, like Jeff said, whatever we can cut the cost, that's what it costs. Councilor Nelson, please.
Thank you very much for the update on that, Your Worship. And I guess I'll ask a very pointed question. Has the Premier or the federal government committed to increasing their allotment in lieu of the fact that it's gone from 20 some odd million dollars to $35 million?
Mr. Maraca, please.
Your Worship, to Councillor Nelson, no, they have not committed. We just sent out another correspondence just to try to rope them into covering some of the overages. There was a big delay with the announcing of the water treatment plant that put us behind the 8 ball, as well as some of the requirements that came from provincial and federal grants. So the costs have escalated substantially from 24 to 40 million. So we are facing some different options that we've presented to council once with staff have had their meetings with Interior Health, as well as we get any kind of response back from that, from senior levels of government, and there hasn't been any commitment to date.
So these are estimates. We're not even in the ground, and the costs have doubled. Literally.
Well, for audience purpose, Councilor Nelson, he was scheduled due to some of the personal reason, he couldn't be last minute, something happened, he couldn't be with us at the UBCM. I was hoping I didn't have to say this publicly, but when we went to Premier's office, we was all over him about the same issue. He did not say yes, he never said no either. To me, that was a good news. He told me and my contingent to send me the list. We wanted to do the due diligence. I'd rather send the list 10 days late than sending a wrong list. We sent him the list is gone, my understanding.
Yeah, as far as I know.
Yeah, it's gone today. And we worked very hard, going back and forth between my office and the staff and Mr. Maraca. Finally, we sent the list. I'm talking to Victoria continuously, like I said earlier, and these are the reasons why we talk to them. There's ways we are trying to not milk a cow, getting money out of a senior level of government. You know how hard it is. We are trying our best. The council is united. I couldn't have asked a better council how they're united. They empower me and not there with me all the time. When we write a letter, when we talk to them, they know this council is united. Councilor Bain goes there, she twists their arm. Councilor Moses go wherever he go, he twists their arm. Whoever is talking to whoever, they tell the same language what I'm telling them. So they know I'm not shooting in the air and everything. I'm hoping, keeping my finger crossed, I'm hoping something will come. Anything come to me would be acceptable by my office. Anything is better than nothing. Councilor Nelson.
No, and I appreciate the work that you're doing on this file. It is a top priority. This council has made it the top priority in terms of moving the balls forward on it. We've recognized quite clearly that the costs have literally doubled on this. Staff is in overdrive, supercharged, doing due diligence, trying to ensure that as we go to the tender, that we've got everything crossed and dotted. Tonight, we just passed another key recommendation to ensure that our costs are in line. And the unfortunate thing is that as a community, 10 years ago, we said, let's pay our debt down to nothing, which we're going to be debt-free here in a couple of years. And now we stand to have to go back into debt. Now, we as a community have been putting significant amounts of reserve monies aside for this. Water is gold. There's no two ifs, ands about it. We need to do the project, and we need to ensure that if there are opportunities, as the mayor alluded to tonight, that behind the scenes we're lobbying for top-ups on the grant that we got, is basically what we're saying. And I think that's part of what we're trying to do at the same time, ensuring that as we go to enter into contracts to build this, that it's not going to come in at $100 million. And the reason I say that is that look at all hell broke loose in Vancouver when they originally started their treatment plant in North Vancouver. It was scheduled at $1 billion. It's now over $4 billion. So we're being extraordinarily cautious, doing extra due diligence, and quite frankly, lobbying the provincial government and the federal government because it was their screw up that we couldn't announce it, and it delayed a time lag. And it's cost millions of dollars now to get to the point where we're at. So we've gone on and said, thanks for the grant, and we appreciate it, but we now want you to top that grant up to the full funding level of the 70% that you committed to. That's really what we're asking. And so it's significant dollars. We're still committed to the project. There are other communities in this province right now that are struggling for water. Right now, a number of communities across the province have gone to a level 4. And a level 4 is very serious where they're running out of water. So we know how important this project is. I'm extraordinarily grateful for the $18 million that we got. We need to move forward with it. So we just want to keep the community up to date. And I appreciate your worship, the tenacity that you've got in terms of banging on the doors and asking the province and the feds to top the grants back up. Thank you.
And the reason I'll tell you why, for the audience people, there may be a million reasons why their price has gone so high. They do not have a Mr. Maraca. They do not have a Jeff there. These are the staff members, believe me. And your mayor and council member does not charge $1,000 for a board meeting. Their lunch is, if they're lucky to get a lunch, that's a one sandwich, not a $500 golden plate lunch. Those are the reasons. I know, I'm fully aware, but we are working very hard. We will do the best we can do. Let's keep your finger crossed. I'm sure everybody's blessing and prayer will have it a favorable reply or answer. Any more debate, anything? Hearing none, all in favor? Thank you. Next one is William Lake Daybreak Rotary, please.
The recommendation that the report of the Director of Community Services dated October 29th, 2025 be received for discussion, and that council refer consideration of a future dog park as part of the upcoming development of a new Parks and Trails master plan.
Second.
Well, I'm going to recommend it to council. As most of you know, Thursday, Friday, I was in the regional district board meeting. I, as mayor's office, is aware of the agenda usually, and should we. I was talking to my colleagues, area DEF. I asked them, hey, this is recreational function. Are we not partnered in the recreational function? They said, we are. I said, when are you going to come on board? They said, you never knocked the door, so why should we open the door? Excellent point. My whole point is, I'll put it I'll request the council to accept option number 2 with the addition that we hold it and till master plan parks and trail network is done, and we also forward it to the joint committee, area DEF. We do have a every recreational function. They're part and parcel of it. And I'm not saying they will come on board, but if we don't do it, they will never come on board. So that would be my request to the council, that we put it on hold, refer back to staff, and let the master plan be finished and refer it to the committee of the whole. Somebody can help me to word it out. That would be my recommendation. Councillor Delaney, you wanted to speak, please.
You're talking the dog park or the pickleball?
Dog park first.
No, this is dog park.
Okay, thank you. Yeah.
My agenda wasn't loading.
Okay, so what you're recommending is the dog park to refer to the Parks and Trails Master Plan and put it back to the Cariboo Regional District?
Yes, the both, actually, both of are the same. Sorry, give me 1 second, Mr. Merker. Oh, you go ahead, please. Go ahead.
Your Worship, Councilor Nelson, yeah, the dog park right now, like if we're focusing solely on the dog park, where it won't interrupt that service, and then they are using that ball field right now, which is still a ball field. It's not a dog park, it's a ball field. But like in the time it takes to go through a Parks and Trails Master Plan, it's just more prudent to make sure that all your facilities and everything are in a bigger plan, and you don't start putting pockets of things everywhere, right? So it just makes more sense to have them used where they are right now and then put it in a bigger plan, because the Parks and Trails Master Plan is in the 2026 budget for discussion.
So the recommendation for amendment on that, Your Worship, is to refer it to the CRD joint?
By both of them would be my recommendation to both items.
Both, you mean the pickleball as well?
Yes, also. That I'll bring in the.
Can we just do the first one with the
Let's do the
dog
first
park
one.
first of all, and then it's
Yeah,
not going to
please.
be confusing?
Let's do
That's
the
where
first
you
one.
lost us.
Thank you. No, let's do the first one. Wait till the master plan,
Okay,
and we also refer this item to them too.
I'll make that as a friendly recommendation.
Thank you.
As amendment on item 3A, Your Worship.
Thank you, appreciate it. Moved and seconded. Any discussion? All in favor? Carried. And pickleball infrastructure.
Recommendation that the report of the Director of Community Services dated October 29th, 2025 regarding the Williams Lake pickleball infrastructure be received and that council directs staff on next steps.
My recommendation is similarly, we wait till I was speaking to some of the member of the pickleball committee in the floor. I told them that would be my recommendation to the council. Mayor cannot make the decision. Mayor is on the driver's seat. I can recommend. It will happen whatever the majority council do. Because I have spoken to the CRD, our joint committee member, our neighbor, it doesn't make sense to me, you or me or the city does by itself. When we had a joint agreement for every recreation with the area DEF. Based on that, I'm recommending put on hold, refer back to the staff, wait till the master plan is done, and bring this to the joint committee, which is happening on 26, I believe. Please, Councillor Nelson.
Thank you very much, Your Worship, and I appreciate the recommendation. So back in May, June, July of 2025, we did have a presentation from the pickleball group that came forward and looked for a particular location. What we did say was we referred it to staff to find a location, that we would prioritize it as a council and make sure that we could ensure that we had a project location in 2025 to line up with potential grant applications for 2026 to be in the ground for 2026. The recommendation that I'm sensing and feeling in front of me doesn't do that. In actual fact, when I talk master plans, I talk years of planning, a lot of chitter, a lot of chatter, but not a lot of action. My concern is that this is a key project. It's a very, very enthusiastic group, Your Worship, that I don't want to put to the back burners. And I think by putting it towards the master plan, which I do understand, will de-escalate it and make it a long-term project. So I personally would prefer proceeding with option 3, which is to proceed with this project and consider it in the 26 capital budget for the design and the cost estimates, and basically get it ready for a fall project in 2026. The minute that we put it to a long-term master plan, and I understand that, and I understand the concept behind that in terms of creating a partnership behind that, it's going to take years. And I don't think, and I don't support that in the long, I support in the long term, but the activity and the growth with this particular club and the support for this in the community is immense. We are number 17 out of 499 communities across the province of across Canada as a key seniors place to retire. So I look constantly to ensure that we're keeping up with that pace on an investment scale for activities for our seniors. So we found the location. We now have to look to put the capital behind it. Option 2 that you're suggesting will delay the project. And I don't support that. So I'm much more to prefer option 3, which puts us in scale to move it forward. I think on the backside, we say that we would refer it after to that organization that we're moving ahead with this project, and we would love them to escalate their priority. But at this point in time, the commitment that we've given as a council is to move this project forward much faster. And by delaying it and suggesting clearly that it going into a master plan, in my opinion, would delay the project for many years.
I don't agree with you one bit that it will delay, and there's no program have been delayed, you know that. Only difference is going to be we're going to violate our recreational agreement with the area DEF. I do not understand what's going to make a difference. Mr. Maraca said a few minutes before, master plan is on the table for 2026 budget. Either you're going to reject it or you're going to accept it, period. When you accept that, this will be automatically in it. The recommendation from the staff is there. I'm not running away from the site. I'm not running away from the recommendation. All I'm saying is we are trying to put the cart in front of the horse. We waited this long, bringing our partner on board. If we didn't do it, if you pass the recommendation, if this council passed the recommendation, you are saying, I can tell you from area D and F, I can almost guarantee you, you will not get a single penny for this function. It's up to you. My vote is going to be the last vote to be counted. I'm telling you, you had enough experience, Council Nelson. I spoke about this issue latest Friday, but it's only 2 days before. On the colleague during the CRD board meeting. It's up to you folks, whatever you want to do, I'll go along with you, but don't expect a penny from area DEF if we go with your recommendation. I think Mr. Maraca had something.
Thanks, Your Worship. So when we started this, it was very clear with the resolution from council what we wanted to achieve, and it was exactly what Councillor Nelson said about trying to have something shovel ready for 2026. We found a location based on a matrix of criteria about the cost, locations, impact to neighborhood, future planning. There's a big matrix that we scored a lot of facilities, and Kinsman came to the top of the list based on costs, especially because there's already an existing facility up there being the washrooms, and then it's flat and everything like that. But one thing that will be missing, and it's very, having those timelines were pretty aggressive. It was really aggressive. And the thing is that part of what council will want to do is they will want to go to public engagement for the residents in the area, including Williams Lake First Nation, who owns the Poplar Glade site, to make sure that that doesn't hamper their development and stuff like that. So it's a question to have a conversation that it doesn't mean it can't happen in 2026, but there are some moving parts. We just based it on cost, location, and I still believe it's a great location for it, but it should be considered with the regional district as a regional asset and a regional funded design and construction, because there are people that live outside the city that would use that facility, no different than any of our other things. And that would be our staff's concern, is that if you don't get them agreeing to the cost, being in the design or everything up front,
They're not going to come back.
we would be worried as staff, because that's kind of putting the cart before the horse. Still not saying that 2026 can't happen, but there are a few things. One, get the joint committee to commit to it, and two, make sure we do some public consultation for that area. Staff are recommending it, and I think the group, correct me if I'm wrong, met with Stacy, and it was location the group supports as well. So I think those boxes are checked. We just need to go forward to the next few steps.
So
Hold on, Councillor Nelson, I got a list going on, if you don't mind, please. Councillor Denny, did you raise your hand, or you are next, and then Councillor Moses, then Councillor Nelson?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This is exactly why making recommendations after a presentation is not good practice, because it doesn't get the opportunity to go through the channels it needs to go through. I would not support not sending this to joint. Absolutely, we'd lose our partners, and this would be a disrespectful thing to do, because we have an agreement with them. I don't disagree with Councillor Nelson's points. I think it's important to the community, but I also said in that meeting that we also, as a community as a whole, needs to have some input on what's happening with these lands, and I talked about that at that meeting. I also think that we need space in our community for theater, and I think it's bad practice to bend when you have a lot of people that show up and they have something that they want. We have to be mindful that we have competing interests in the entire community. The dog park people are happy to say, okay, we'll go into the parks and recreation. They're not continuing to try to pressure. I'm not saying that pickleball is not a good thing, but I don't like the practice of making recommendations on a presentation, because it puts us in an awkward spot. It asks us to make commitments that we obviously can't uphold. So I am in favor of option 2. I think this needs to be part of the Parks and Recreation, and I think we need our CRD partners on it, as well as I still would like to see, I appreciate we have a matrix. There's a lot of public consultation that we have in a bunch of different areas, and staff says right here, we can avoid some duplication on that, but I like that we have a matrix, but I still think that matrix needs to go to the community for full vetting on what green space we have and what we want to use it for, because it can't just be like, oh, I want this and this is what we want, this is what we think. You know, it's great that the staff has something to say about that, but the community has to say over those green spaces. So option 2, you know, doesn't mean that it's going to not happen, but we have to get our partners on board and put it through the proper channels. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor. Then Councillor Moses, please.
Thank you, Your Worship. Yeah, I can see the strengths in all of my colleagues' views on this topic. Firstly, I do agree that we need to at least ensure that we bring this to the Cariboo Regional District at joint committee, and that is in just 1 week. So that is not a big setback. Secondly, this would be included in the Parks and Trails Master Plan regardless of whether we built it today or if we built it tomorrow. It goes in the master plan with the rest of our parks, the rest of our trails, the rest of our recreation plans. They'll all coincide there, again, regardless of when we put shovel in ground. So this is an instance where I believe we can have our cake and eat it too. We can plan the pickleball court and the future master plan simultaneously. However, we definitely need that partnership with the Cariboo Regional District for this in advance. We have a joint committee with them in 8 days. Next Wednesday, we have a meeting with them. So let's see what we can plan with them to get these projects done the best and fastest way possible, both as a master plan and both as a shovel and ground as soon as we can. I don't see why we can't just do both. I love both ideas. I see the strengths in all 3 of you that spoke before me, and I believe that we can take the strengths from all 3 of those ideas and still get it done. We just need our partners involved, and that's just next week.
Thank you. I got Councillor Lyon, then Councillor Bain, please, then Councillor Nelson second.
Thank you, Your Worship.
Thank you. Yeah, I wholeheartedly echo Councillor Moses on that. I believe everything that he just said. And I also look at it as if roles were reversed, this is not something that we would want them to be making a decision without us present for it. So let's try and keep everybody on the same page with this. And if we do, it should just make things smoother down the road when this project actually starts to come to fruition.
Thank you, Councillor Lyon. Councillor Bain, please.
Thank you, Worship. I also agree with option 2, but also don't forget we have WFN who owns the neighborhood property. So though the other meeting is next week, I'm not sure it'll be as quick with them. So just as a heads up, next week does not mean the end of consultation with especially some of our biggest partners, which I actually thought you might think to say as well. But I think that we need to hold off and do it sucks. I mean, we all want to build everything. God, I would love to build the whole community center or whatever, there's so many things right now that it really has to go out to the group, to not just the groups of us, but the public as well. Thanks.
Thank you, Councillor Bain. Councillor Nelson, second time, please.
Vitaly, can you tell the community how much the Cariboo Regional District gives to the existing tennis courts? Nothing. So right now, the pickleball court and the tennis courts receive nothing from the Cariboo Regional District. Thank you. So when I go back to the July resolution, this council was unanimous and it was committed. Let me read to you what the line said that we directed council to do and staff to do. Council directs staff to further investigate, develop, the inclusion of an expanded pickleball facility within the municipality parks lands as requested, including options for locations and additional requirement amenities, i.e. washrooms and parking. Sponsorship agreement, grant opportunities with the initial goal of 2026 for project commencement, and further the letter be sent to Daybreak, Rotary, etc. The report that's in front of me, and these are not my words, these are the recommendations that are contained within the report. So all of a sudden, we gave a commitment to a public group, and now here's the recommendations that I don't have an explanation for. Option 2 is what's being recommended by the mayor on this table. It says this is the recommendation. Delay the project until a parks and trails master plan is in place for future park, trail, and recreation infrastructure is aligned moving into the next decades. This includes reviewing this project with the Central Cariboo Joint Committee for future partnerships. This delay could be up to 2 years, pending the development of the new plan and the priorities that come out of that plan. This option would be best situated pickleball with a broader recreation planning and would avoid some duplication of public consultation. Option 3, which is the one that I support, which was the one I thought we were going to go with, proceed with the project and consider 2026 capital requests for the completion of the design and cost estimates, along with the original commitment that we gave in July. This could involve construction of a facility as early as fall of 2026, pending the costs indicated post-design. This option requires extensive public consultation and information sharing process to ensure success. So tonight I'm hearing, really, taking a key project that we publicly as a council committed to and jackhammering it into a 2 or 3 year process and delaying this process and delaying this project as a whole. So either I've missed some meetings or I've missed what's going on, but if somebody could tell me how we've gone from taking this as a top priority, putting the energy and the commitment behind it, trying to get a design location and ready to go project in 2026 for an expanding community group that is just trying to put a project together, to entering into a master parks plan that's going to take years to look at, master plan, and then insert this project for a funding opportunity. Where have we gone wrong on this? I'm missing a step. Mr. Mayor?
I'll come back to you, Mr. Mrock. I had something to say.
Okay, so your worship to Councillor Nelson. So there's 2 things that we should separate. One, if council wants to pay 100% of the load to put in a pickleball facility rather than pay 60 or 50% of it, that'll be an option at the table. So let's focus on that part of it. So if you don't want to go with your regional partners and you want to put this into 2026 budget discussions and pay the whole ride, that'll be discussion at the table. As for the Parks and Trails master plan, there would be nobody at the staff level, like I said earlier, that would be wanting to delay this thing 2 or 3 years out. This is just more proactive planning while we start looking at funding opportunities and grants. We haven't even got a grant. The pickleball group hasn't brought any money forward yet. Like, we don't even have a design or how many courts we want to think. So there's a lot of discussions that still have to be. There's a very passionate group, as well as Stacy and Rob have done a lot of work, and I think we're moving forward. But there is nothing shelf ready right now. There's discussions, but there is some planning to happen. And what happened with the Parks and Trails Master Plan is those would happen simultaneously with these discussions. Because right now, there is no funding to build pickleball. There's no funding at all to design pickleball. There is nothing here other than a location at this time based on council's previous instructions to find a location, which is what was brought forward. So if council wishes to say, let's put it all in the capital plan and put $50,000 and pay the whole ride for a design for a pickleball, we can definitely put in the budget, but that doesn't change the fact that in 2026, we're going to go to public consultation. And just like we tried to, when we tried to do development at that location, when the public came out and said that they didn't want houses or apartments in that location, the council of the day said, we're not touching that park. So I just want to be very clear. We put it in the budget without going to public consultation. We just got to be clear that that's the direction council wants to go on. Because we've tried to do something in that park before, and council didn't like it when the public consultation comments came back. We had to kill that project.
Councillor Bain, second time.
Thanks, Your Worship. And I just wanted to clarify something, probably to staff. The Parks and Rec is fairly new to the Cariboo Regional District because for the longest time that wasn't a combined. So again, to your funding point, I feel like this is recent and it's what I'd like to encourage more participation through the regional district. So part of that discussion in my mind anyway is to include it, because something like pickleball, I feel like it is growing. They are going to see that value. Maybe they haven't before in our small little tennis court, but I feel like this is a bigger aspect that we're asking for. And I just also wanted to ask maybe to staff as well to clarify. So the big because we also have that bold multiplex, which I think I'm hoping for a referendum on, and that might also lead to either court. Like, I'm hoping to incorporate a pile of things in that. I'm hoping to see great things from the feasibility. So for part of my mind is also with that going on and those groups, like we have multiple groups involved in that ask. So to me, that's all combined here. That's part of my issue in my brain, as long as with the Cariboo Regional District, WFN, like we just have so much we need to consider here that I think it makes a step back to see this. And it can be after joint next week when we're all there. But I also think I'd like to involve WFN. And I also would like to know what that feasibility is looking at. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Moses, second time, please.
Worship, can I just add
Sorry,
something? Yeah.
please.
Sorry, Your Worship. So to Councillor Bain, so yes, it has been in the recent past where we have requested from the regional district to get more involved with the maintenance of Botanical Park, the bike park, the tennis courts, and they have, in their defense, they have always been willing to commit, especially areas D, E, and F, to paying their share because we don't have a water park in Wildwood. So they come and use that facility. So they have been, and that's why at the staff level, we're saying, yeah, pickleball is played by a lot of people outside the city of Williams Lake. So we would like to present that to those people without delaying the process, to Councillor Nelson's comments. As for this indoor facility, that's 100%, like pickleball is different. Like, you mean pickleball, we have a location, we have a perfect location for where this can go. It's about public consultation. But when you're talking about the size of an indoor complex, this is why you need a Parks and Trails master plan. And this is why we recommended the dog park not go up there, be plunked right in the middle of the Sika field, where it could be the ideal place for a multiplex to go in, and we wouldn't want to have to try to move something. So that's why you want to do proactive planning for things like that. So you don't want to pick like the Boulder Park, fantastic facility, but it stops you from putting anything else in those locations. That's why you want to have these documents. But pickleball and the facility at Kinsman, it is ideal for us, right? So it's a little bit different than the multiplex for when you talk about how much effort from a Parks and Trails master plan would be needing to be involved with a pickleball.
Please.
Yeah, granted, Gary, but I think the pickleball is only going to be outside. You're talking outside? To me, the complex thing, or like a bigger, could potentially have pickleball for a year round, like winter as well.
Your Worship,
Court
part of the
that could be
presentation
used.
from the pickleball representatives was to be able to put this facility indoors, some of it, correct?
No, but that's what I'm talking about, the multiplex.
No, but it wasn't being, it was the courts that we put in, that they wanted the ability to expand and cover them, correct?
At some point, I agree.
That's what was on the
No, but
presentation.
they want outdoor. Yeah. So the problem with that is, like, I see that as being part of the multiplex. Like, if we're building a place where you're going to have it's going to be a multi-use facility, it would be part of that. It's always what I thought. We're talking like gymnastics, if possible. The dream would be all of it.
But I think to Councillor Nelson's point, if they wait for pickleball for a multiplex, they will be 10 years out, 20 years out.
I got Councillor Moses, please, second. I'll come back to you, Councillor, please.
Thank you, Worship. Yeah, Councillor Boehm and Mr. Maraca covered a lot of what I was going to ask, but I'll still just point out one thing. With option 3 is definitely the most streamlined, as Councillor Nelson is pointing out. But the last sentence of option 3 is still, this option requires extensive public consulting and information sharing process to ensure success. So it seems like a very obvious step, even in option 3, that we wait to talk to joint committee to make sure that we can have potential partners on this. As Mr. Maraca pointed out, potential partners can literally cut the cost of this in half, and that's something I don't think we should just throw away. Thank you, Your Worship.
Before I let Councillor Nelson speak third time, I'd like to have a kick on the can. Up to last of October 2022, the council of the day had either their way or highway. This council, Councillor Nelson is part of it, part and parcel, no different than me or any other council. Our philosophy or vision is working together collaboratively. If I'm riding a train without a ticket, I started from Vancouver. Nobody stopped me, caught me. If I'm with the ticket or without ticket in Calgary, it does not give me the right to go back all the way to Toronto or Montreal. There's always time to correct it. I'm not running away. I'm not saying the pickleball people have to wait 10 years. No, I never said that. The philosophy here is, for me, as a one member of council, sure, the name is different, mayor or council, doesn't matter, it's a one board. All I'm saying is, this council have an unwritten philosophy, working together collaboratively with our regional partner, with our First Nation partner, with our provincial government, with our federal government. If we didn't do today, but I'm recommending, you forget it, you won't get a single penny. Councillor Nelson raised the point from the staff, how much they pay. They don't. But at the same time, Mr. Maraca said, as the council philosophy, we are trying to bring them on board. They are helping. Now, it's up to the council to choose the philosophy you wanted to do today. I can tell you, if you go with the option 3 or any other option than 2, I can tell you, I can almost guarantee you, if CRD give you 1 penny, I'll resign same night from this position. I challenge you that. Don't put the cart in front of the horses. 1 week, 2 weeks, 1 month, not going to make or break. I've been living here 51 years. I see most of you playing. 1 month or 2 months are going to make a difference? No way. Month back or not long back, council made the decision during the committee of the whole to have the tax exemption bylaw for 1 year. Nobody thought about it. Mr. Maraca was away. When he came back, we talked about, most of you hopefully know, committee of the whole is a council sitting downstairs and make a recommendation to ourselves here. Because this is the time where we make the final decision. Downstairs recommendation. I spoke to the staff and everybody jumping on me. I never thought about it. Next year is the election year, staff going to be busy. I'm no different than my colleagues. I wanted to skin a hair on the tax exempt bylaw. I want to do it proper. It never went done. Up to 14, we had almost every year, if I correctly remember. Former Mayor Cook sitting in the audience, she would help me. We used to have it each year. Then 2000, I believe it was 15, Council of State decided, let's have the bylaw done for 10 years. All the people, 5 of them didn't even apply because they forgot it all about it. 10 years was too long. I recommended to the council, let's go for 2 years. That will pull us out of the election process next year. In 27, we can come back and skin a hair and do the due diligence work. I'm recommending the same way. You got my commitment, council got my commitment, staff got my commitment. That's me as a member of council. The community got my commitment. All I'm saying is, do it right, even it takes 10 days longer. I will never support putting it off for 10 years, no way. That's my publicly committed commitment. Mr. Maraca, then I'm going to go to Council Nelson.
So, Your Worship, staff have been discussing a little bit as well, and perhaps option 1 with the addition of putting it before joint would be what the flavor of the table is. It won't have the master plan in there, but it will. Basically, option 1 is select and formalize the Kinsen Park site for future pickleball infrastructure. This would include a community engagement piece as part of the project. Reviewing the project with the Central Cariboo Joint Committee would also be a step in this process. This could include 2026 capital project to reach a design cost estimate for fundraising and grant opportunities.
Exactly. And,
So it wouldn't-
and refer to the joint committee.
Yeah, but it already says.
I have no issue.
But it already says that in option 2, and basically the discussion so far, Councilor Nelson, has been option 2 or 3.
If I'm somebody reading option 2, the very first line says delay the project until a parks and trails master plan is in place for a future park. That's a big, bold statement. And that's not the message that I want to send. So I want to be clear. We're back in this project. I want to be a leader as a community in this project. And that's why I was going to suggest option 1 is much more clear than option 2. It's proactive, it's action oriented, and add in that you want to send it to the Central Joint Committee for their support, and ask the William Lake First Nations to support it as well and throw some money into it. But
that would be
as a community, we've given our commitment that we want to see this project take place. I don't like the wording in option 2. I wouldn't support it. I've been very upfront from the very beginning of this meeting. Option 1 I can live with. I think it's helpful. I would have preferred option 3, but option 1 is the compromise, reading the council table rather than delaying the entire project and leaving it up to create a parks master plan. So if there's not a recommendation on the floor, Your Worship,
Could you hold for your recommendation, please? Let's finish debating, then we'll.
Okay.
If you don't mind, I'll come to you, please.
Thank you, Your Worship.
Okay, so just to continue with that, option 1 doesn't have anything going into the budget for 2026 without prior consultation with the regional district. That's the major thing that's different from option 3, because option 3 has it being in your 2026 budget. Option 1 does not have that until you have discussions with the regional district.
That is the reason I'm recommending option 2. No nitpicking of the word. If we have to rewrite the wording, let's do it. I am all for 2026. I would like to make it part of the trail and network plan, our plan, and then bring our regional partner on board. That's what I wanted. Help me to put the word. Option 1, 2, 3, whichever, help me. I like to see the First Nation and the regional district on board. You pick the option you want.
Your Worship, I'll make the recommendation.
And the residents, of course.
Thank you. Your worship, I'll make the recommendation that option 3, proceed with the project and consider 2026 capital request for the completion of the design and the cost estimates. This could involve construction of the facility as early as fall of 2026, pending the costs indicated post-design. This option requires extensive public consultation and information sharing process to ensure success. And further, we ask the CRD to participate in the overall Parks and Trails Master Plan and ask the First Nations to be a participant as well. So what we're saying is we're going to move ahead with this project. We're going to get some cost allocations on it. We're going to do some public consultation. At the same time, we're going to ask the Parks and Trails Plan to be initiated, but it's not going to be held up. We're going to direct this to be inserted into the Parks and Trails Master Plan rather than the Parks and Trails Master Plan tell us what to do. And at the same time, we'll ask the First Nations to be a partner.
I appreciate it, but somewhere I'm smelling when we take it to regional district partner, they're going to say, you made the decision already, why should we help you?
That's because
What I'm saying is, before we finalize any decision, let's take it to the CRD to joint. That's what I'm saying. If you come to me, Mr. Rather, I want to come contribute me $100, I'm buying this car, why would I do it? If you come to me, Mr. Rather, I need your share, I'm planning to buy a car, but after you tell me how should we do it, then chances are you'll get my share. I'm knowing the directors, knowing how regional district works for the last 3 years, I'm trying to bring it to you people on board. But like I said, I'm not running away. You put the motion on the floor. If majority council wanted to do that way, I'll be there.
that's the motion, Your Worship. If there's a
Could you
second.
read the motion, please?
So, Your Worship, it is option 3, and further that the Cariboo Regional District and Williams Lake First Nation be asked to participate in the Parks and Trails Master Plan to work towards supporting the pickleball facility.
Should we reading proceed with the project and consider 2026 capital request? Is there somewhere we can write a word rather than using the word proceed, saying like making a decision along with the partners after consulting to them? That's what I'm looking for. I don't know, I may be skinning too much here. I don't know, please.
Thank you, Your Worship. Yeah, I can see how there could easily be just a few words changed in Councillor Nelson's motion so that we can ensure that we talk to the partners and then proceed exactly as Councillor Nelson is saying that we could or should. I would really like that idea on making sure that we reach out to both the partners and then proceed just as you're saying that we should. I think that would be a really good middle ground where we've achieved both of the goals that we're looking at right now.
Appreciate it. Vitaly, Mr. CFO, you had something, please.
So my read of the option 3 is that the city at the moment is planning to commit to the actual construction of the court. Without knowing the price, without knowing how much the taxes will go, it just basically take and commit to the construction of the cost. And if it's $1 million cost, I don't know where the city is going to take the money because taxation will be determined long before the fall of the 2026. So at the moment, the city would need to say, yes, we're committing for the 2026 project of $1 million, and we are going to pass this taxation to the residents of the city of Williams Lake only. If that's the decision of the council, yes, I think the decision which need to be made. But the council, I think, may refer it to the next week's discussion when we're going to look at the budget. We're going to look at the tax increase which are currently proposed to the city of Williams Lake, and then the council may decide if they want to add additional costs to this, or maybe decide like to choose a different option. Because next week, the report is already prepared. It's proposing some project from the staff. which are coming with a tax increase to the city of Williams Lake. And maybe council need to consider it before making another commitment to another project to initiate in 2026.
Mr. Maraca.
Thanks, Your Worship. So I think just for the tally, I think it comes down to when we were given direction from council, it was like maintain current service levels and just do council priorities. This is one that should be going through sub-regional rec, just to make sure that we get the cheapest price for council. If you look at, say, the disc golf, we invoiced the regional district for $48,000 for the disc golf. That's an opportunity you're going to miss out on if you just go directly to putting it in our budget, because I would agree that the mayor about going after the fact without having to win, and we're going next week with them. So putting it in front of them, we don't lose anything. The commitment from staff, as well as pickleball, is to get shovels in the ground, is to get this thing built as quick as possible. Nobody's saying delay it 2, 3, 4, 5 years. It's just a matter of who's paying for it. And right now, the city taxpayer, if we go this way, will pay for it all.
The city taxpayer is paying for it right now as it is.
No, they're not though. So
Well, that's not what Vitaly just told the community.
But like Councillor Bain mentioned, this has been recent. We started invoicing for some sub-regional rec, i.e. the disc golf.
Yeah.
In the past, for Britannia, you didn't get anything even before either, but now you're getting money for the water park, Kiwanis, disc golf, everything. They're paying their shares.
I think we're all saying exactly the same thing, but if I'm a person from the public reading option number 2, that's not what it says. It very clearly says something completely different than what we're talking about. And I've learned one thing in this game of politics, it's what you're voting on. Doesn't matter what you say, because at the end of the day, what shows up is option 2. And so I'm trying to be very clear in terms of where we're coming from and what we're trying to deliver. And all I see with option 2 is a mountain of red tape and a delay. And that's my concern. Option 3 very clearly indicates where we're coming from, that we support the project, we want to move it forward. And if we want to create and tie it to the Parks and Trails Master Plan, put it as a subnote. But it's a priority as a community is what I'm trying to say. I don't need the Cariboo Regional District. I don't need the First Nations to tell us what's the priority. We've already said it is a priority in a previous resolution on July the 25th or July the 15th. So I'm trying to stick to that original resolution and make sure we don't lose that momentum in a mountain of red tape. And that's what I see in front of me is a mountain of red tape that this organization is going to have to climb through. Because what's being inserted is a much bigger issue than what was originally discussed on July the 15th.
If it was a red tape, Councillor Nelson, I don't think you would have seen this report within 2-3 months. Mr. Maraca, then Councillor Delaney, please.
Yeah, now I completely understand what Councillor Nelson's saying. Like, I think the idea behind it is that you're thinking the Parks and Trails Master Plan is going to be a consultation piece with everybody to see where this fits on the hierarchy. So that may be the confusion. When the option 1, if you commit to Kinsman Park, which council can do, then basically the Parks and Trails Master Plan is not needed at all because you're already committing to that site. What staff will always recommend is public consultation and bringing in your regional partners. So if you like to separate the Parks and Trails Master Plan, because now I understand what you're saying, you're like worried that we're going to go there and they're going to say an art center is more a bigger priority than this, or this is now.
You're reading my mind.
I completely understand where you're getting at right now. So at the staff level, obviously I can't speak for your colleagues. That is not the intent of what we were trying to present as a report.
But that's what's being presented publicly. Delay the project until. That's what it says.
No, there's 3 options. One's no delay at all.
Option 2, which is being recommended. Option 2, which was the recommend. It says the very first line is delay the project until a Parks and Trails Master Plan is in place for the future. That's what it says. That's the first line. And then it goes on to say, this still includes reviewing this project with the Central Cariboo Joint Committee for future partnerships, which the mayor is talking about. This could delay the project for up to 2 years. This is not my report. That's why I'm opposed to option 2.
There was no recommendation from staff there for option number 2, was it?
No, the mayor said he presented option 2.
Okay, so there was 3 options in there, and the first option was commit to Kinsman Park and basically do public consultation and go to the regional district for partnerships.
I think that's great.
I have no issue. Hold on.
But, oh, sorry.
We'll finish it. Here.
So, but that would have, like, that would have you committing to Kinsman Park for this, and then basically saying, that's what we're doing, but it's still subject to public consultation, correct? Yep.
We're going to make a decision. We've been quite long on the same subject, Councillor Delaney. Then I'll ask the motion, please.
Well, we don't have a motion because.
No, we don't.
Motion
We are all,
wasn't supported,
that's
so-
why I said we will ask the motion.
I see the value in option one. However, the optics of it, again, we've selected a site and now we're going for consultation on it. We have a community partner that is literally right next door and has development plans. We are putting the cart before the horse. And I understand Councillor Nelson's desire and the commitment to. It's not saying that we can't have that commitment. Also, there's no money. So we could say it's the kinsman, but there's no money to do anything. So I think going back and having the proper consultation with Williams Lake First Nations, if we're going to say the kinsman is the place that we're not going to select it. We're going to say, based on staff's recommendation through the matrix data that they did, the experiment that they did, this is what has come up as the top priority. What do you think? That's only going to take, whatever, even if it takes 4 weeks to get a meeting with Williams Lake First Nations and go through joint, then at least you have your partners on board, because you are correct. Because I sat at that board and I represented Area E, and I understand you will get nothing from the CRD. And it could also put a bad taste in the mouth with Williams Lake First Nation to say, we've selected something that's going to be right beside you, and we hope you're okay with it. So it's not good consultation, and it's not going to harm anything to walk it back and put it through the proper consultation. And then we can go out and say, okay, we have an actual spot. Yes, Kinsman is the spot. It's supported by the joint and it's supported by Williams Lake First Nation. Now we need to figure out how to get money. Now we got to go to public consultation. So however you want to write it, option one or option two, I'll support, but absolutely not option three. We don't have any money to commit to it right now.
I was going to suggest where the money comes from.
If I may, Councillor Nelson, I'll request everybody, let's work together. Continue the council vision philosophy. We want to work together. Having the consultation work done with the CRD and the First Nation, this item can come back whenever, within a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, obviously every 2 weeks. We had a council meeting. We had, November 18th, we got a 2nd December and 16th December is the council meeting. We can make the decision for the site. I'm not running away. Help me to put the words. Please don't say something decision made, because then I would not have a face. I would not have the courage, decision being made, and then I'm asking them to help me or come on board. I can tell you, and you know good as I do, they will tell me where to go. I'm not running away. Please, I can't insist more than that. But all I'm asking is, give me the word which would not decide anything other than we go to the regional district partner and the First Nation and come back with their consultation, with their help, we make a decision. If I have to call a special meeting, you are willing to come, I'll sign the special council meeting to come down. That's all I'm asking. Please, Councillor Delaney.
This recommendation. What if we recommend that we bring the Kinsman Park idea forward to joint and to WLFN as an option based on staff matrix calculation for a future pickleball court? And then from there, figure out the rest of the
And
pieces.
ask their partnership.
For partnerships, yeah.
I love it. I love it.
Review the,
Say, you, okay, sorry, I wasn't prepared to move or second yet. I decided yet, let's discuss. And, sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, Your Worship. So technically, Councillor Nelson's option 3 plus the additional it's not.
There was no motion accepted yet.
There has been a mover, Mayor.
But nobody
so-
seconded.
Nobody seconded.
Nobody
As long as nobody.
seconded.
Okay.
I didn't allow any motion.
Okay.
That's why I'm saying, let's discuss, rather than 2 versus 3, 3 versus 4. let's discuss. It sounds like what Councillor Delaney put the words on, and I can see everybody nodding. Are you, Councillor Nelson, in agreement with Councillor?
Oh, sorry, what's the recommendation?
Could you please read it? Listen.
Kinsman Park option forward to joint and WLFN as an option based on staff matrix calculation for future pickleball for partnership. And we can make it sound better, but basically just bring, instead of saying, this is what we've decided, joint and WLFN, we say, here's what we found out through a matrix recipe through the city of Williams Lake. We would like to know if you support it, and if you are in support, we have your partnership, and then we go to community, then we go to public participation. And figure out that stuff. And then that doesn't look like we've made up our mind and said, this is great, this is what we want to do, and we don't care if we need your money or not. We want our money.
You're a very good negotiator on the table, Councillor Nelson. I think it sounds like she's proposing what you're asking.
I'll support that if we have a time frame of 60 days.
I have no problem, along with we have.
Because
Hold on.
if they turn it down or we get no response, it's clear we full throttle on the project.
If I may, please.
Yes.
It's not a 60 days. I am requesting if we could take it even 26 November. If not 26 November, some reason, if the agenda's pretty big and there's a delegation getting pretty big too. And December meeting, do we get December? I don't think we have it. There's no joint. Okay, your point is well taken time-wise, but I got another advice from the CEO. We have to add the community consultation with it. That word has to go in. Did you got it? CRD, First Nation, and the community consultation. Hold on, Mr. Maraca, please.
So the 60 days. So I think the only concern on there, like, I think you have to separate. Are you, to Councillor Delaney, you're looking for partnerships from the regional district and from Williams Lake First Nation for partnerships with the development.
Right.
We're not saying, hey, this is what we have and get on board or get out, you know, like
Completely
it's a neighbor.
Completely understand. So I think though, to Councillor Nelson's 60 days, it has to follow the same process as we would do with any kind of public consultation. I would be happier as staff if it was like that staff start right away within a week. Do you mean to start that process rolling? Because it takes what it takes to do public
Why
consultation.
don't you see if you can get Chief Sellers to attend the joint meeting just for the flavor of the table? Ask him to be.
Don't think he had that much time. I doubt it, but I can request him. But 60
The only
days,
reason why I'm putting a time frame on it
could you do it in 90 days? Like, I'm committed for 26. Don't take me wrong.
is that if we don't get a commitment, then we've got to go to Plan B, which is to get up and get at it and grab the bull by the horn
I'm
and
with
get on
you.
with it. So that's why I'm saying 60 days puts us into Christmas, January. So as long as there's flexibility on council side to say, push it to up
For
to
90 days?
70 days, 80 days. I know we're getting into Christmas, but I think that the opportunity of public dialogue tonight will certainly spark up some conversation. I think that it'll become a little bit more awareness. I'm just making sure we don't lose the intensity of this project and the importance of this project. And that's why I'm glad we came to a compromise at the end. So are we 60 or 90 days?
Your worship, Councillor Nelson, like, we have to go as fast as possible anyways, because we've got to get into the budget for 2026 if we want to consider it. So we're going to work towards your 60 days and see what we can do. But we do have to do a fulsome consultation to make sure that the community.
Is everybody okay with the 60 days, the way the motion is on the floor? Please.
Answer. Exactly.
We're not talking about 60 days for public consultation. That's a scam. If we're trying to run public consultation through Christmas, I will absolutely not support that. Get your partners first.
She had a point.
Yeah, and so, Your Worship, and I think that this has gone around in a little bit of a circle because, and I would agree with that. The thing is that public consultation can kill your project now too. So, you know what I mean? Like if you're not be greasy, but that's what staff's recommendation, to go with public consultation, right? So if you go out and you actually want something in your budget, it is the cart before the horse still, because you're trying to put money in the budget, get partnerships before you've done your consultation. So I think this is like, I don't know what to say, like it's.
I think should have gone to, yeah, please.
So your worship, if, as one potential option, just moving where community consultation lands in the resolution. So if it's like, if you're going for the development and partnership within 60 days for response and to begin public consultation kind of simultaneously,
that makes sense.
then you're not setting the 60-day on the public consultation, but you're getting your partners and you can start moving.
Yeah, start immediately. Okay, awesome. I'm favorable to that.
You're okay with that?
Yep.
I think, thank you. I really appreciate, thank you, my fellow citizens. This work should have gone to the committee of the whole rather than here. I think we spent almost much as time on this one item we did on the agenda. And that's where we do our laundry committee of the whole. This is the decision making, bang, bang. I'm sorry and I appreciate your patience. So could you read the motion please once for last time?
Now, correct me if I get it wrong, but that staff be directed to bring the Kinsman Park option forward to the Central Cariboo Joint Committee and Williams Lake First Nation for a response within 60 days for development and partnership, and that staff be directed to begin community consultation on the project.
Awesome.
And moved by Councillor Delaney, second by Councillor Moses. Any more discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Carried unanimously. Thank you, folks. Thank you. Hey, moving along, one more item. There's a motion to receive the information package. And there's one item I like to pull it out of there. Second bullet from the bottom. That's proclamation request Christian Heritage Month of December. Good night, folks. I would recommend that we proclaim the month of December Christian
I'll second
month.
that.
I would respectfully request somebody move it.
I'll move it.
Okay, moved and seconded, Councillor Moses, oh, sorry. Who's going to move it? Somebody want to move it or second it?
I'll move it.
Councillor Nelson, somebody want to second it? I'll second it. Okay, Councillor Moses, please.
This is a really common tactic and letter for white supremacy. This type of letter is trying to say that there are no Christian events throughout the year, but if you look, our calendar is riddled with them for holidays the whole year round. And this is just an attempt to make the city a Christian entity. And the city should not participate in this type of request. We have Christmas coming. That's a holiday we all have to participate in, whether we're Christian or not. You probably celebrate Christmas and you're not Christian, your worship. I celebrate Christmas and I'm not Christian. I celebrate Easter as well. These are all Christian holidays. And I don't believe that we should be adding this into our calendar because one person asked us to. Thank you, Your Worship.
Fair enough. Any more discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Oppose? Motion defeated. Receipt information package?
Second.
Moved and seconded. All favor? Carried. Motion to close meeting.
Second.
Sorry, no. CEO's update.
Your worship, I don't have an update. I've done enough.
Okay, good enough. You people
Why, you got
seen,
questions, Councillor Delaney? You want to ask me something?
okay, quickly, just one line. Museum had AGM other day, and the Amber is the president, and Patty Gerhardy became a vice president, and thank you very much participating in the Remembrance Parade. I heard nothing but a lot of compliment. My office team. That's it. Hearing none. Motion to
Close the meeting.
Second.
close the meeting, please. Moved, Counselor,
So, Your Worship, just to clarify, you do need to make the motion to close the meeting.
And then we adjourn.
And then we adjourn.
adjourn. Okay, Counselor Bain, Counselor Delaney, moved and seconded, all in favor? Motion to adjourn? All in favor? Thank you. Carried. And you guys want to take a minute or two break, or you're okay?
Yeah, we gotta wait
Okay.
for Ashley to get here.
Okay, no, go ahead. Oh, Ashley. Oh, she's
Yeah,
on the
oh, yeah,
line?
she's out there, yeah.
Okay.